Hi and welcome. In this video we're going to take a look at the ZENworks Mobile Workspace end user experience. The ZENworks Mobile Workspace provides the end user with user-initiated provisioning and enrollment, email, calendar, and contact access to GroupWise, Lotus Notes, or Exchange/Office 365, a corporate web browser, and access to the corporate document repository. Let's take a look at how this works for the end user. So here I have a mobile device, and I've gone out to the App Store and I've previously installed the application. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is visit a website, and from this website I can go ahead and get an enrollment code. Now the enrollment code is something that the administrator can either define or is something that the user can request depending on the configuration that the administrator has set up in the system. So in my case, I've actually enabled it for the end user to be able to do that. So you'll see here the user has the ability to download the workspace from here if they didn't want to go to the store. When they click on that, it actually takes them to the store to get it. We can click enrollment, and you'll see right now that there's no enrollment in progress or their enrollment code is expired, but I've turned on self-service, so I can say request a code and it will generate a code that's valid for the next few days. So now we'll come over to the workspace application and we'll enroll that. So first thing we have to do when we go to the application is we have to put in our server. So in my case, that's that. And if you're using an alternate port, you'll have to put in the alternate port. And then you'll provide your directory credentials. So in my case, that's jblackett. And of course, my super secret password. And then the PIN code is that enrollment code, so this YHBT here. And the enrollment code can be as short as 4 characters or as long as the administrator has configured it. We'll say OK, and what it's doing here is it's enrolling, it's checking to make sure that that code is valid. It's setting up the secure storage on the device, and then it's going out and checking your email in this case. So you'll see along the left hand side the access to the various pieces of the workspace. So it starts off with the mail. So you see I have a full-blown mail client here. I can click on one of these emails, see the various details about the email, do all your standard things like delete it or reply to it, forward it, mark as unread, so on and so forth. Of course, if I have multiple folders, I can also access my cabinet here, so I can go into that folder and gain access to things as well. I can create additional folders. I can create emails. When I create emails, I can search the corporate address book by clicking on the contacts. You'll see I don't have anything locally in memory, but if I come over here and search for somebody, it will come up. I can select that user. It'll automatically fill that in, and I can send the email off. If I want to attach something, I can do that by clicking the attachment. However, I'm only allowed to attach documents that are inside the container at the moment, so something perhaps that you downloaded from the repository. So we can send that off, and off goes the email. Second, we have the calendar. You'll see I have a pretty boring calendar right now. I can go ahead and create new events from the calendar. Got a test event here. It's going to happen in Salt Lake City. And I can specify whether it's a private or public event, the description, and then I can invite attendees and set reminders as well. Once I have that, you'll see that shows up in my calendar here. There's a list view. There is also a month view that shows the dates up top, so you can see the things that had appointments. There's also a day view so that you can see more of that traditional day view as well. You have contacts, which we sort of already saw, but you have your cached contacts that you've previously talked to. And then if you do a search, you can search your server contacts as well, as we saw. For instance, if I pick me, I can come in here, take a look at the contacts, and there's my contacts. Additionally, as an end user, I can set up I can access corporate data. So I can come in here and access the remote storage. This is storage that my administrator has configured me to have access to. Here I've got a folder called Workspace that I've got a couple of Office documents in and a PDF. It's got a built-in viewer, so if I wanted to just review one of these real quick, I can click the Admin Quick Start, for instance, and that will bring the file down, open it up with the native inbuilt server, and there you go. Finally, I have a browser built in. This browser allows me to browse anything that the administrator has enabled, and when it's doing it through a secure gateway that's running on the company's environment. So typically, you would put an edge server out there and provide that edge server the ability then to access your various websites internally. So we can verify that that's working because I can actually browse to an internal website. In this case, I'll go to my ZENworks reporting server. And so you'll see I'll actually go to this 10.1.10.6 address, which we know isn't routable, so we have to be going through it. This is a great thing for users who find VPN confusing. I don't know about you, but as an end user, when I'm surfing, I very often forget to turn off my VPN, and then all my Netflix traffic is going through the company. With this, you don't have to worry about that because all of the data, as long as you're in the corporate browser, is going through the corporate system. So those are the capabilities built into the workspace. With what you've seen here, you basically have access to all of your corporate data from inside a single easy-to-use application that provides you access to your email, calendar, contacts, web browsing, web applications, and your corporate documents. Thank you for joining.